All right. Um, First of all, welcome to everybody. We are very happy to have you here with us. And it's a great moment, in order to speak about our School of International Studies. And we are happy here to have all the three main responsibles of our three international programs, Master of European and International Studies, Professor Caselli, Master of the International Security Studies with MEIS with Professor Russo, and then Professor Paolo Ferradori, who will speak about our IMSIS, which is our international program. And of course, afterwards, we have Miss Silvia Bevilacqua, who will introduce you mainly to the idea of the international relations and how to go to the Erasmus bilateral agreement and all the opportunity that the school is offering. Of course, that when we are very happy to introduce mainly the international approach to our students. As you know, that all the course is in English, and we are one of the schools in Italy that offering a most important English teaching and research approach, and opening our range to international relations, security, and different kind of multidisciplinary points. Of course, today our main point is to speak late, not so much, but to have more your questions in order to understand your curiosity, what you would like to know from us, and to be in touch. I am Pejman Abdel Mohammadi. I am the main responsible mainly for the international students, but also for the what we call kind of orientation studies and how our school works in order to make you into the school and then hopefully later on to get engaged in the market and in the job market. So I think in order not to take so much time, I would start with our first international MEIS program, which is Master in European International Studies. And Professor Caselli will give you a bit the first approach of what we are offering, what we are asking, what are the main points. And then I would ask dear Professor Russo to work on that, and then Professor Foradori. That would be some kind of not very long presentation, and then we go to, before getting to Ms. Bevilacqua, maybe we can get your questions, and then we go to Ms. Bevilacqua for the question of international point. Thank you, Miriam, for that. I would just open for Mauro, Professor Caselli, if you would like to start. Welcome on board, everybody.
Hello, hi everyone. Thanks a lot for being here. And thanks, Peshman. As my colleague was saying, I'm the coordinator for the MEIS program, which stands for Master in European International Studies. This is a master program which is truly multidisciplinary in nature, as I will explain in a moment. We cover a range of disciplines, all related to the fields of international studies and European studies. So the goal of the program is basically to prepare students for international careers that can be in the public and private sectors. And as such, students who graduate from the MEIS program can hold and do hold positions of responsibility within national and international institutions that are engaged in international affairs. They can be also private corporations, so also in private actors, of course. We have alumni who work for governmental and non-governmental organizations that are linked to international affairs and European institutions as well. Some other alumni I've started and work now in the diplomatic service and have their careers in diplomacy in that sense. And then we also have students who work in think tanks, previous students as alumni, work in think tanks and research organizations, as the MEIS program also prepares students for admission in PhD programs, such as the PhD that we have here at the School of International Studies. So the way the MEIS program is organized is it's a 2-year program. The first year provides the basis for whatever kind of track that you want to take and for the second year. So during the first year, students have to take compulsory classes in European international politics, international EU law, international economics, data analysis and statistics, international history, and international political philosophy, as well as an English class, which is not just for the point of learning English. People are supposed to, prospective students are supposed to have already a very good knowledge of English, but it's more to be able to communicate using the English language in the field of international studies, plus some additional activities which can be carried out both in the first and second year, for instance, an internship. So some of these classes from the first year, as is written here, we try to divide students into two groups because we admit 50 students, and clearly for some classes this can be a bit too big, especially for lots of our classes. We try to provide presentation space for presentations, a lot of space for group work, and all kinds of clearly interactions between not just the instructor and teacher and students, but also between students. So in order to do that, we try to divide all these classes, as you can see, into groups, into smaller groups, so that you can have a much more almost like a tutorial kind of feeling approach to this. During the second year, students are supposed to choose one of the thematic tracks. The thematic tracks are international affairs, Europe and the world, and the third one is sustainability, environment, and rights. There is also a possibility of a completely free track. Okay. Within these tracks, students are supposed to take a class in political science, a class in law, one in economics, free electives, plus an innovative kind of challenge-based learning approach lab, which we call policy lab, where basically students are supposed to put in practice what they learned over the 2 years of studies here, with a specific using a specific topic that obviously can change over time. Okay, and then at the end there is obviously a thesis to write. Okay. Now you can go to the next slide, please. The other thing that is that makes the MEIS program very appealing for students is all the opportunities that the students have to do part of their studies abroad. So basically, we know that a lot of our students like to go around, to move, to have as many opportunities as they can, and Trento provides that as well. So the degree offers three double degree programs, of which one is currently suspended for obvious reasons. The other two, however, are in full swing. So this is one is a very long dated and very successful double degree program with the Metropolitan University of Prague. Metropolitan University of Prague is specialized in both European affairs and more recently has been specializing more in security studies too. And the second double degree program is with Maastricht University, whereas this university, on the other hand, is specialized in energy policy studies. So the idea here is that students do the first year in Trento, and then the second year they go to one of the partner universities, and basically they can specialize in what these universities can offer. Okay. The students also have the opportunity of entering into an honors program, which is basically an advanced training program that offers some additional training and international experience that is focused on development cooperation. The name of the program is Talete. The idea is that basically students would have to take 12 credits, courses for 12 credits, plus do an internship and a dissertation that is focused on cooperation, basically, on international cooperation. On top of these, of course, like the program also offers opportunity to do shorter period of mobility abroad. That is like within the Erasmus Plus program or international or bilateral agreements, but that is a bit more general for the whole school. So I'm just gonna leave it to the for potential questions later. Okay. So with this, I am done with my part, and I'm happy to leave the floor to my colleague Alessandra Russo.
Thank you, Mauro, and thank you, Pejman. Welcome, everybody. Thank you for being connected with us today. My name is Alessandra Russo. As Professor Caselli mentioned, I teach some courses within the MEIS program. And in addition to it, I teach one course in the Master's Degree in International Security Studies, and I am the co-coordinator. Why co-coordinator? So Mauro, Professor Caselli, coordinates the MEIS on his own, and I share this responsibility with Professor Francesca Capone, who is a professor of international law, not at the University of Trento, but at the Sant'Anna School of Advanced Studies in Pisa. Why? One of the specificities of MEIS, of the Master's Degree in International Security Studies, is that this is a master's degree jointly organized and developed by the University of Trento, by the School of International Studies, and by the Sant'Anna School of Advanced Studies in Pisa. So basically, my students spend 1 year, the first year in Trento and the second year in Pisa. They are on the move in a sense. And you will see in the IMSISS program, they will be even more on the move. But let's stick to the MEIS program for the moment. Career-wise, MEIS program paves the way to similar career if compared to the MEIS, to the Master's Degree in European and International Studies. So we have former students and recent graduates working for international organizations, the UN agencies, for example, but also for the European Union and its External Action Service, for national agencies, so in the national institutions, ministries, but also in the diplomatic service in different positions, both in our country and abroad. In the NGO sector, and also some of them entered the academic milieu, the academic sector, in public universities, but also in other research organizations, again, in Italy and abroad. So similar to the MEIS program, this is a very internationalized program from the point of view of the class composition, but also from the point of view of the faculty members, and lastly, from the point of view of the several possibilities that you have of international mobility, through, for example, internships abroad, through participating to the Thesis Abroad program that the University of Trento funds and promotes. We are at the School of International Studies. One of the main features of this unit, of this structure, is its interdisciplinarity. And MEIS, it's an interdisciplinary program. So we look at the security studies field. We look at international security from the point of view of political science, international law, international economics, and a wide range of disciplinary angles, enhancing and enriching our outlook, our overview on current security challenges. Miriam, next slide, please. This is a very synthetic overview on what you are going to study. So you will see first year, as I mentioned, in Trento, a few compulsory courses, for example, security studies, the course that I teach, power, force and violence in international politics, a course taught by Professor Foradori, research methods in security studies, international law and security. And then we have some courses that you can opt for in a pre-established group of similar courses. For example, you will choose one between development economics and economic security. Or another example, one course among three history-based courses, and so on and so forth. And then, similarly to MEIS, you will be trained in English for specific purposes. So it's not, as Professor Caselli mentioned, a general English course, but it is specific for international studies, international communication in the political, diplomatic, institutional field. And a distinction between MEIS and MEIS is that students are expected to take a second language, foreign language exam, choosing among French, Spanish, German, but also Arabic, Chinese, etc. And then you have some elective courses that you can choose among the ones that we offer. The second year, you will move to Pisa. Miriam, next slide, please. And again, the scheme of activities is similar. You have one compulsory, the same for all, course in international law, terrorism and insurgencies in peace and war, and then courses that you can choose in these pre-established packages of courses, and again, elective courses. One peculiarity of the MEIS program is that taught activities, so the regular courses, are distributed throughout 3 semesters. So the full first year and then the first semester of the second year. What happens during the second semester of the second year? Well, you won't have courses to attend. You have a free, partially free semester, free from taught activities. And during this second semester of the second year, you are expected to carry out an internship, for example, or to enjoy an international mobility experience for the purpose of preparing your thesis, for example. And that's it. I hope you will join us and you will participate to our admission procedures. And I look forward to hearing your questions. Thanks. And Paolo Foradori will present the third master's degree.
Thank you. Thank you very much and welcome everyone to this meeting. Next slide, please, Miriam. Okay, so I'll talk about the International Master in Security, Intelligence and Strategic Studies, IMSISS, which is a prestigious, dynamic and highly internationalized 2-year master program. IMSISS was created and is funded through the Erasmus Mundus program and is jointly offered by a consortium of 5 leading universities from 5 European countries. The University of Glasgow in the UK, which is also the coordinating and administrative center of the consortium, Dublin City University in Ireland, Charles University in Prague, Czech Republic, University of Belgrade in Serbia, that has joined the consortium, that will join the consortium next year, and then of course the School of International Studies at Trento University, where I'm based. So students will study. Now you can stay on that track. slide. Student will study in 3 different partner universities, and at the end of the program will be granted an international master degree. That is a joint degree issued by the consortium partners where you'll be studying, and not by a single university. So students have the choice of 3 possible pathways to navigate the program. So pathway A includes the University of Glasgow. So students will start the first semester at the University of Glasgow in the UK. For the second semester, we move to Dublin City University in Ireland, and then third semester will be at Charles University in Prague. Another options, you can choose pathway B, highly recommended, of course, because you start in Glasgow as the other students, but then you move to Trento University for the second semester, and then you go back to Charles University in Prague for the third semester. A third option would be pathway C. All students start again in Glasgow for the first semester. Then in this path, you go to Dublin City University for the second semester, and the third semester will be based in Belgrade. And the fourth semester is dedicated to writing your dissertation or doing an internship. You can go back to one of the partner university, or also you can move to another associate institution. We have a wide network of associate partners from the US to Latin America to the Middle East, where you can conduct your research or do an internship in some of our partner organizations. Next slide. Yes, on related to the content, the themes covered by the program. IMSISS covers the theoretical, empirical, and the applied approaches to security intelligence strategy. It takes, similarly to the other programs, an holistic and multidisciplinary approach that goes beyond the sheer military dimension of security, but it also covers another wide range of issues and challenges where the economic, political, legal, cultural, and environmental dimensions of security is also very central. The program is structured starting from next year, so sort of a novelty is structured around 5 security themes that reflect current pressing global challenges. The first is emerging technology and digital resilience that investigates the effects on, that investigates issues like cybersecurity, digital and AI developments, nuclear weapons, weapons of mass destruction, satellite space security, and so on and so forth. The second theme is war, conflict, and peace studies on effects of interstate and civil wars on state and societies. It also explores possible solutions and strategies to promote peace and stability in conflict contexts. Third theme is radicalization, terrorism, and organized crime. The fourth theme is intelligence, strategic planning, and public diplomacy. And the fifth theme is human and environmental security, where you cover issues related to the protection of individuals and ecosystems from threats like climate change and natural disaster, resource scarcity, food security, forced migration, while also ensuring sustainable development and well-being. Next slides. Next slides, please. As to teaching, when it comes to teaching, IMSISS is characterized by innovative teaching in a wide range of curricular and extracurricular activities, trying to bridge theory and practice. Here I just listed some examples of this approach. Simulations conducted by the Games and Gaming Lab at the University of Glasgow. We also, when you be in Trento, We also have a simulation exercise on peacekeeping operation at the COESPO, which is a Carabinieri-led base not far from Trento. Students can also take part and contribute to the Security Distillery, which is an IMSISS student-run think tank, where they can publish papers, post podcasts, and so on and so forth. There are also a series of dedicated summer schools for IMSISS students. The University of Regensburg, for instance, offers a traditional, I would say now, summer school every year on intelligence analysis. In the past, we had summer school on migration and forced migration by the University of Cadiz, which was a partner of us. As Trento, we ran a number of summer schools in the past on the Middle East, or last year on arms control and arms trade. This year, the program foresees 3 summer schools in Belgrade, Dublin, and once again, at the University of Regensburg on intelligence analysis. And then, of course, internships that will be mandatory starting from next year, meant to acquire, again, of course, professionalizing skills and competencies. Next slide. It's on career prospects. Similarly to the other programs, we are committed to prepare students to excel as future decision makers, analysts, scholars, capable of engaging critically with the complexities of world politics. Typically, our students ended up in security-related posts in government organizations, public administration, international organization, of course, NGOs, but also think tanks, and more also they found positions in the private sector. Some of them also continue their studies. They pursue a doctorate, a PhD, and then end up in the academic career frame. Next, it's on this slide shows summarizing the teaching activities if you choose pathway B, which is Glasgow, Trento, and Prague. In green, the courses offered at Glasgow. In the first semester, you get courses that provide you with the foundations, or if you like, of security, strategic, and intelligence. So the course will be on the core theoretical concepts. Then moving to Trento, the focus will be on the causes of conflict, with courses meant to provide you with a broader and more critical approach towards security, including from a legal, economic, historical perspective. In red, the courses we offered. I won't go into details, but I'm happy to expand in the Q&A. And then you move on the third semester to Prague. Again, in blue color, you would pick 4 courses on a list of options, organizing concentrations. Again, I'll be happy to expand further. Fourth semester you'll be, as I said, busy writing your dissertation or undertaking an internship related oftentimes to the work you are researching for your dissertation. Next and final slide. It's it's to wrap up, basically, to conclude on again emphasizing that IMSISS is a great, dynamic, and highly internationalized program. It can be challenging, but you will also find it very rewarding and fulfilling if you choose to take it. I think IMSISS' distinctive strength lies really in the high mobility across 5 countries, attending studies at 5 leading universities in Europe. The awarding of a joint degree is also very important, and provide, I think, really significant added value for employability, particularly for those seeking an international career, this highly international element. The second distinctive element of the program, I think, is the highly internationalized again and diverse character, which expose students to a community of really exceptionally talented students from all over the world. We have 70 nationalities so far participating in the program. And again, this can be a fundamental asset for your personal development, for your academic growth, but also for your future professional career. And I stop there. And the only downside, if you like, of the program is the costs. It's quite expensive. The fees, especially because the fees are set according to British standards. However, we have scholarships. Again, we are refunded by the Erasmus Mundus program. We have again important scholarships. So I really invite you to consider that option. And I stop here, but I'm happy to take questions in the Q&A. Thank you for your attention. And I think back to Pejman.
I think Pejman is on the move, is going from one city to another by train. So maybe I can take the initiative and invite our precious Silvia Bevilacqua to intervene. I'm sorry to have taken the lead instead of Pejman, but Silvia, if you want to say something.
Yes, my idea was to give a brief recap about the admission process for these 3 master degrees. Then if there are questions about the mobility possibilities, I can reply. So I'll try to share my screen. Do you see my presentation? Yes, I'm sharing it.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
So
you can
we've been
presenter if you can.
Okay, let's see if it works. Working, okay. So when we talk about the Master in International Security Intelligence Strategic Studies, as Professor Foradori said, the management of the admission process is up to the University of Glasgow. For our track, we have more or less 30 places. And in terms of deadlines, students had, for the academic year 26-27, the application for scholarship had to be submitted in January, and self-funded students can apply until the 21st of August. When we talk about the Master International Security Studies and European International Studies, the management of the admission process is up to the University of Trento. We have 35 places for international security with 5 places for non-European students, and for the MEIS, and 15 places for European International Studies with 10 places for non-European students. The deadlines are the same for these master degrees. We have a first call for non-European students residing abroad that is already open and will expire in March, at the beginning of March, the 4th. Then we will open the second call for European, Italian, and non-European students already residing in Italy. And the expiry date for that call will be the end of June. In terms of admission requirements, the 3 master degrees require students to have a B2 level of English language. There is a request of knowledge of a second language for the Master International Security Intelligence Strategic Studies and International Security Studies. For the first one, you need to already have at least a B2 level of a second language, not Italian, but generally speaking, a second language. When we talk about the MEIS, you need to have at least a basic level of a language that must be Arabic, Chinese, Russian, German, Spanish, French, one of these. For the MEIS,
Portuguese.
Portuguese. Okay, sorry. I have the list later, also in another slide. I always forget one of these languages. When we talk about the MEIS, the Master in European International Studies, there's no need to know a second language. For all these master degrees, we request a specific academic background. We will see it later. And for the first two, there's a minimum GPA required, while for the Master in European International Studies, there's no minimum GPA. But it's part of the evaluation of the profile of the student. This is a recap of the requirements of the Master in International Security Intelligence Strategic Studies. So B2 level of English language. There's a list of certificates that can be accepted, not just IELTS and TOEFL, but I wrote down those certificates in order to give you an idea of the requirements for these certificates. For the second language, you need to be able to attest at least a B2 level. It can be done with a secondary school diploma or other certificates or degree certificates. As it deals with the academic background, they request a strict to 1 UK honors degree. And the degree must have been gained in a specific area that goes from politics, includes politics, his international relations, history, but also law, criminology, human geography, computing science, a lot of areas, but not all the possible degrees. As it deals with a master degree in international and security studies, we request the B2 level of English language, but the list of certificates you can submit is more limited. We accept only IELTS, TOEFL, and Cambridge B2 level with a minimum skill level of 165. These certificates must have been gained not earlier than March 2024. We can, there's a possibility to get an exemption if you already hold a degree, a bachelor or master degree from a university where the tuition fees, the tuition was entirely in English. So your studies, your university studies were completely in English. As I said before, a second language must be known at least at the beginner level. It must be other from Italian and can be among Arabic, Chinese, French, Portuguese, Russian, Spanish, and German. In terms of academic background, the bachelor must include at least 60 ACTS from at least two of the following areas: history and philosophy, economics, law, political science, sociology, or foreign languages. Any minimum GPA is required. You must have at least 24 out of 30 in the Italian system. That means more or less 75%. 3 out of 4 in the other system. As it deals with the Master in European International Studies, the academic background required is the same. So you need to have at least 60 XCTS in the same areas mentioned for the Master in International Security Studies. And we request the same certificates for the English language. What's missing is the knowledge of the second language and the GPA, which is not required. If you want to apply for the Master in International, for the IMSISS, let's say, you need to submit an online application on the website of the University of Glasgow. We already saw the deadline previously. Here you can find the list of the documents that you should upload if you want to apply for this degree. So, copy of your certificates, of the academic transcript, 2 supporting reference letters, evidence of your English language ability, curriculum vitae, evidence of the second language if you want to apply for the Trento track, clearly a photo of your passport, a personal statement. In terms of evaluation criteria, the 30% will be based on the academic merit of your score, will be based on the academic merit, the 40% of the personal statement, and 30% for other relevant aspects, such as what's written here, professional experience, internship, whatever can be taken into consideration by the committee in order to evaluate your profile. All right. When we talk about the Master in International Security Studies, the first advice I have to give you is to read carefully the call for admission and check the minimum requirements. You can submit the online application within the given deadline, remembering that you will be asked to pay an application fee of 30 euros after submitting your application. You will be requested to upload a copy of the passport, copy of bachelor degree, transcript of record, a reference letter, at least one reference letter, curriculum vitae, the English language qualification, second language certificate, statement of purpose. The committee will evaluate your profile on the academic background and the reference letter, giving you maximum 60 points, the statement of purpose, and the relevance of previous studies. The rankings for the first call for non-European citizens residing abroad will be published by the end of April. The rankings for the second call for European students and equivalents will be published by the end of July. For the Master in European and International Studies, the procedure is the same. We ask you to fill out an online application, to pay 30 euros for the application, and we ask you to submit more or less the same documents. The only thing we do not request, but if you want, you can upload it, is the evidence of a knowledge of the second language. The sum of the evaluation criteria is the same. Here I summarize some questions I usually reply to students who are asking for information about the admission procedure. If you read the admission call for the Master European and International Studies and International and Security Studies, you can see that there is a deadline to that you can apply even if you are not graduated yet. But there is a deadline for non-European students and a deadline for European students. Non-European students residing abroad can apply if they are able to graduate by June 30, by the end of June, because otherwise they wouldn't be able to get the visa to arrive in Italy on time in September when courses start. Non-European students and equivalents, given that they do not require to get the visa, can apply given that they are able to graduate by the end of October. If you are planning to take part into a graduation session in November, be aware that you can't apply for these degrees. The list of English language certificate mentioned in the admission call and in these slides is definitive. We do not accept other certificates. So if you got a degree in mother languages but the medium of instruction was not just English, you can't apply with that degree, with that certificate actually. You need to get an IELTS, a TOEFL, a Cambridge certificate. As it deals with the knowledge of the second language for the Master in International Security Studies, we said previously that you just need a basic level of, in order to apply, you just need a basic level. You do not need an international certificate to attest that level. We can accept also self-certification, transcript of records attesting that you passed the language exams, and so on. You can apply for both courses, and in case of double admission, you can choose which course you want to enroll to. As it deals with tuition fees and scholarship, I will talk first of all about the Master in Strategic Studies, because as we said before, this master follows the English system, the UK system. So you have an amount of pounds for European and British students, and another amount for international students. as we said previously, there is also the possibility to apply for Erasmus Mundus scholarship for the next academic year. And getting these scholarship, students can get the fee waiver and a monthly amount to cover their expenses. As it deals with the Master in European and International Studies and in International Security Studies, the amount of tuition fees is based instead on the system of the University of Trento. We have a dual system, one for non-European students and the other one for Europeans. As it deals with non-European students, the amount of university fees is calculated on the basis of the admission score. If the student gets 90 points out of 100 or more, the student is admitted with exemption from tuition fees for the first year. Tuition fees for the second year, if you are a student paying tuition fees for the first, can be waived if you get at least 42 credits out of 60, which would be the normal workload. And this is how it works for tuition fees for non-European students residing abroad. For European students and equivalents, instead, the amount of university fees is based on the economic condition of the student. And the same goes for the scholarships. We have a number of scholarships that can be assigned to non-European students. Usually we have 2 or 3 for students of the Master in European International Studies and 1 or 2 for students in the Master in International Security Studies. The amount is 7,200 euros per year. And the possibility to get the scholarship is based on the admission score. Top score ranking, top score student will get the scholarship, will be admitted with scholarship. If the student don't get the Unitrento scholarship, there are other opportunities of fundings, such as the Unicolor scholarship, which are for descendants from the Trentino emigrates abroad. There are scholarships paid by the Minister of Foreign Affairs, of Italian Foreign Affairs, and there are also Studia Masters in Europe scholarship for 2025, which take for granted that they will be renewed for the next academic year. When we talk about European and equivalents, the possibility to get the scholarship as it was for the tuition fees is based on the economic condition. Okay, I think that's all. So, if there are any questions, I'm here to reply.
And I don't have much to add. I look forward to receiving and reading your applications. Of course, I would be not alone in screening and like in the admission procedure. But I also look forward to having some of you in the class next year. And if you have more specific questions that cannot be replied by reading the website or the admission call, be back to us.
All right.
Okay.
If there isn't anything else, thank you from my side as well, and I also look forward to looking at your applications. Okay. Have a good evening, everyone, and thanks everyone, and thanks to my colleagues as well.
See you in Trento. Bye bye.
Goodbye. Thank you.
See you in Trento.
Thank
Bye.
you, Trento.
Thank you for your effort.
Thank you. Thank you.